The game is set up and we're ready to begin. Each round goes through a particular sequence. First, we're going to draw a status report card. All that hard work gone. We must start again. Draw one molecule from the molecule pool and replace the lowest occupied B hex. We're going to come over here, draw from the molecule pool. Well, we'll take that one that just flew out, and that is a C. And it's going to replace the lowest occupied, so that would be B1. So C will replace that L, which actually works out for us, because as you can see, L requires 5 proteins to complete. The one that came off will go into a discard pile. We'll just place them up here at the top of the board. Next we go to the lab event. A blackout causes the protein batch to spoil. You must discard all available proteins and draw 4 new ones from the protein pool. Well, it's the beginning of the game, so we didn't have any specific need for these quite yet. So those go into a discard pile, and we will draw 4 new ones. And we're going to get a green circle. And while I'm doing this, you can hear my cat Leo. I believe he wants something to eat. And we're going to get another green circle. Another green circle. Well, there's only 3 of them, and all 3 of them are right there. And finally, we're going to get a blue donut. And we move to the bottom part, which is the deaths section. Winter has fallen on Alaska. Pray the cold will slow Mutation spread. I guess that's the name of our bacteria. Mutation. I hope I'm saying that right. Add 1 to your roll on the containment check this round. Wow, that's actually one of the few cards that allow you to add. Usually you're subtracting from your roll and it's making it more difficult. So we'll put that in the discard pile off to the right of our draw deck. And we will move on to the player action phase. You can do a couple of things in the player action phase. You can purchase one of the cards out of the queue here, one of these 3. You can also purchase 1 or 2 of the proteins from the incubator. You don't have to purchase anything if you don't want to, but that would be kind of counterproductive. I think I want to purchase the Electron Microscope because that's the one that allows us to draw a protein token from the pool, and this will be an additional one we can harvest at 0 cost. So I'm going to purchase that, and that's the first unit. So that's going to cost me 2, taking me down to 13. And I'm going to use it right away. You can use it right away when you purchase it, whether it's a piece of equipment or one of the doctors. You can only use 1 piece of equipment. So if I have multiple pieces here, then I can only choose 1 for that round. So I'm going to use my Electron Microscope. And since I only have 1 unit, I have to roll a die. And if I get a 4, 5, or 6, it works. If not, then nothing happens. I'll just put this little token on there to show me that I used it. Let me roll to see if our Electron Microscope works. And it does. Which means we can draw another one from our protein pool. And it's going to be an orange star. And it'll go off to the left here. It's available also for harvesting, and it only costs 0. Now I have to decide which ones I want to purchase. And since this worked, there are 2 here that are available for 0. One of these green circles and the orange star. I think I'm going to do that. That way I don't have to spend any funding. Because the A molecule, you can see it up there, needs a green circle and an orange star. The B molecule needs a star. C needs both the green circle and the orange star. What else do we have on here? We have A, B, C, we have E, and G, H. So those all need 4. So I want to get something early on. So I'm going to purchase both of these, the 2 that I'm allowed to purchase, and I'm going to place them on the A molecule. Now we're only a blue donut away from completing that A molecule. There's nothing else I can do this round. I purchased something, I used something, and I got 2 proteins, and I don't have anything that allows me to get more proteins this round. So that's going to take us from the player action phase into the containment phase. The number we need for our containment phase depends on which stage we're in. We're in stage 1, which is just considered an outbreak, so we need a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to contain the bacteria. Don't forget we have this card that says we can add 1 to our containment check, which means even if we roll a 2, that 1 will make it a 3. So the only thing that's going to not contain the bacteria is if we roll a 1. And that's exactly what we did. Since we are unsuccessful in containing the bacteria, the death toll moves up to the second space. It's still a 3, 4, 5, or 6, and we're still in the outbreak stage that gives us 2 funding, but that's a rough start to have to move it on the very first turn. Now we'll move into the cleanup phase where we reset everything. We have an empty space here, so we're going to draw a new card, and that's going to be Dr. Robert Foster. Dr. Robert Foster. I said it wrong the first time. Dr. Foster is a technologist and is known as the lab equipment whisperer. He really knows how to get more performance out of them. So if I purchase Dr. Robert Foster, he gets these 3 additional equipment tokens. And that means that I can use one of those tokens to use a second piece of lab equipment in the same round if I want to. And if Sylvia Goldstein or Goldstein is working with Dr. Foster, she can get the 2 additional lab equipment uses token on the card. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. I would need to have both of them, and I really only have 1 piece of lab equipment, so there's no need to mess with that. Any used or exhausted equipment gets refreshed. The protein pool gets refreshed, which means whatever's still there gets discarded. And then we have an orange star, and we'll replace all 4. We have the yellow circle triangle, and there's only 1 of these in the game. And we have the purple star, or the purple star donut, and the blue donut. There's only 1 of these, but only the L and the D need that, and we don't have either one of those right now on there, thank goodness. But now would have been the time to grab it because it's nice and cheap, but we don't need it. And finally we'll get our funding, which is $2 in the outbreak stage, taking us back to 15. And that will end the round and take us into the next one. See what this has in store for us this time. You're no good to me if you can't get on a plane. And this is an ongoing. Draw 1 molecule from the molecule pool and place it on hex B1. Well, so much for that nice C sitting here, because if it tells you to place it on a particular hex, that means the one that is there comes off and gets discarded. So we'll grab a new one to replace it, and it is a D. Right when I said we didn't have a D, but at least that's good timing. We can get the yellow protein and put it on there right away. Next, we have Adam's fear of flying is getting in the way of helping Melinda in the field. Dr. Melinda Yee, which we haven't seen yet, refuses to work with Dr. Adam Schlinker. Well, neither Dr. Yee or Schlinker are here, so... And that continues as an ongoing. I'll talk about how that gets removed. The government calls upon every retired doctor, nurse, and vet to help. No change to your role on the containment check this round. Wow, that's actually two really good cards. We just got an unfortunate roll to 1. Usually it's adding numbers to it, so to get one that allows you to, or usually it's subtracting numbers, I mean. Get the first card that lets me add one and then one that doesn't change it. That's pretty darn good. The first thing I'm going to do is attempt to use my Electron Microscope, see if I can get another one here for free. So we need a 4, 5, or 6. Oh, we're not successful this time. So we have to work with what we have available here. I definitely want to purchase this yellow. And we need this blue to complete this A, but it costs 4. But we have 15, so now would really be the time to go ahead and grab it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that because we're going to get some money back. So I'm going to purchase the yellow for 1 and the blue donut for 4, costing me 5, which will take me down to 10. We'll place the yellow here on the D, and thanks to our purchase, the A molecule is now completed. So I'll clear these off and put them in the discard pile. A can be legally targeted because it has at least 3 open sides. So this one will come off, and it's the first A, so I'm going to get paid the amount under it, which is 4, taking me back up to 14. And we have successfully taken care of our first molecule. So now any other A's come up, actually we hope more A's come up, because I think there's a couple more of the easier ones in there, like 2 or 3 of each one. So that would be an advantage if we get some more A's that come out. Also, I don't think I mentioned that you don't have to do these in any particular order. You can purchase proteins just in whatever order you want. I don't want to purchase anything right now, so I'm not going to purchase anything. I got 2 proteins, I used my lab equipment, so that's it for me. Now we're moving on to our containment roll, and thanks to our card, there is no change in our containment roll. So to contain it, we need a 3, 4, 5, or 6. Oh no! Well, before we move our death toll again, we do have this ongoing card. And after you do your containment check, you check to see if the ongoing card stays. And you need a 4, 5, or 6 to make it go away. And it does not. Unfortunately, our death toll goes up again. We're in the last spot of the outbreak stage. And that's quick. That is bad. We'll place this ongoing card right here as a reminder that it's still in play. And now we'll move into the cleanup phase. If you do not purchase something, either personnel or lab equipment, you can choose one of the cards to put on the bottom of the deck and then draw a new one. And it's the Absorption SPM Mark III. Once per turn, you may destroy a molecule with 1 or 2 visible sides. This is what I was talking about, that there are things that allow you to do that. It's expensive though. First unit 4, second unit 8. We will refresh our equipment. Get a new protein pool here. We're getting a blue donut and an orange star. There's only one left in here, so it will go there, which is a blue donut. And now we take our discard pile, shuffle it up so we can complete that last one, and we're going to get a green circle. Finally, we're going to get our funding. We're still in the outbreak phase. We're going to get 2. That'll take us up to 16. Now let's hope things get better for our rolling. I'm sorry, Captain, but we haven't got the power. I'm not going to attempt the Star Trek accent there. Mutation. Draw one molecule from the molecule pool and place it on the lowest vacant B hex. Well, that's bad news. There's only one open, and it's going to go right there. If we didn't have any vacant hexes on that ring, then we wouldn't have to draw anything. But maybe we'll get lucky. And we're going to get... oh no, we're not going to get lucky. That is one of the bad tokens. A 6/4. Let's see what that means. Critical error. Select one of your completed antibodies and return all the molecules stacked on it to the molecule pool. Well, that is horrible. I only have one completed, and that's the A. So it goes right back in, and we're back to where we started. We still have to keep drawing though until we fill that vacant spot. And we're going to get a C. Ouch. Well, that was a rough turn of events. This game's beating up on me here in the first couple of turns. There's a power failure in Lab C, and Adam the intern really likes Star Trek. You cannot use Mark III lab equipment this round. Well, our piece of equipment is a Mark I, so we're okay there. Heavy rains in New Orleans have driven the rats out of the sewer. Subtract 1 from your roll on the containment check this round. So there's one of those cards that normally comes up where it takes away from your roll. Well, we can take out the D molecule because it needs an orange star and a green circle, but it's going to cost us 5, but we'll get 4 back because it'll be the first one of the D molecules. So that's probably the best bet. But first, let's see if we can get another one for free with our electron microscope. Nope. I think this dice might have it in for me, so I'm going to replace him with another one just like it, but maybe it has a better attitude. We'll go with that plan by the orange star and the green circle for a total of 5, taking us down to 11. And that will allow us to complete this D molecule. Place these in the discard pile. This will be the first D that we have successfully completed, so we'll get 4 funding for it, taking us back to 15. And we have a completed molecule again. Hopefully it stays completed. I think I'll go ahead and purchase the chemostat. The first unit only costs 2. And this allows me to discard the 4 proteins before harvesting and draw 4 new ones. That way if I have a lineup that's really not helping me, I have a chance of swapping it out for ones that might be more beneficial. Now we go for our containment roll. And again we need a 3, 4, 5, or 6, but this time we have to subtract 1 from our roll. It's a 5, takes it down to a 4, so we're safe this time. This dice does have better attitude. Almost forgot. I have to check to see if the ongoing continues. And it does. Start our cleanup phase. And we're going to have the aspirator, Mark II. Once per turn you may disassemble an incomplete antibody, missing 1 or more proteins, and redistribute those proteins to another incomplete antibody. Well, that wouldn't help me much right now, but sometimes you get stranded and you need to move something off that got wiped out. Like if I was working on that A and it got taken out by that C, I could use the aspirator to take things off of that and redistribute them to other ones. Refresh the equipment. Restock the incubator with 4 new proteins. We're going to get an orange star. another orange star. A blue donut. And one of the purple donut stars. We managed to contain it, so we're still in the $2 funding area. That'll take us up to 15. And we can move on to our next round.